Well, hi, my name's Andy Tidy and welcome to another episode of Canal Hunter. In this unusual episode, I've brought along a particular friend of mine, Phil. Phil, would you like to introduce yourself to the audience?
Certainly, thank you, Andy. And may I just say before we start, it's a great pleasure to be with the Canal Hunter himself. Anyway, I'm Phil Clayton. I'm a long-time member of the BCN Society, and I was approached by Crowood Publishers a couple of years ago to write a book on the history of the Birmingham canals, which I have completed and is now published.
Now, Phil, when we were talking about doing this little video to promote your new book, you talked about, well, I said, why don't you come to your favourite place on the Birmingham Canal Navigations? And you said, let's do it here. Well, can you explain why it is that you wanted to do it here?
Yes, Andy. These rather unprepossessing surroundings are by the Stewart Aqueduct at Smethwick, where the original line of canal from Birmingham, opened by James Brindley in the early 1770s at this stretch, crossed the land here, which was on the level with the old canal when Brindley's canal was started. But because the canal was so successful and attracted so much trade and so many boats, they had to make alterations to Brindley's canal, and the main alteration along here was when Thomas Telford in the 1820s built the new main line, which is what we're standing next to, with the Wandering Bark and Montgomery moored up rather illegally for a couple of seconds underneath the aqueduct. So the Stewart Aqueduct was named after Samuel Stewart, who was a committee member of the Birmingham Canal Navigations at the time. And just by looking at the two canals, you can see how the old canal wandered around all over the place and was fairly narrow and constricted, while the newer canal is wide and deep. It had a towpath on each side when it first opened. But you'll also notice here that there are other transport developments. There's the railway between Wolverhampton and Birmingham running alongside, following the route of Telford's canal, and then towering above the whole lot of us is the M5 motorway built in the 1970s. And so a place with such a concentration of transport history like this must be unique in Britain, I think, although I might be proved wrong with that by having said it. But there certainly aren't many places with such a concentration of transport history, and that's why it's my favourite spot.
You gave it a better description to me a few minutes ago, a period of transport history compressed.
Oh yeah. I've always said it's 2.5 centuries of transport history compressed into 100 vertical feet.
That's the bit I liked.
And if anybody can provide me with a photograph of a boat on the old main line, a boat on the new main line, a train going past on the railway, and a lorry coming over the M5, I might be able to find a prize.
Even with an aircraft going over the top, that would be even better.
I think that's probably more than me 100 feet.
Now, Phil, the reason that we came here was obviously to promote your new book. When was it published?
It's just been published a couple of weeks ago and is now, I believe, generally on sale. You can order it from the Canal Bookshop at Audlem, which is a specialised shop dealing just with canal-related materials, so that's a good place to buy it from. Or there are lots of websites connected with various booksellers, or from the publishers Crowood themselves. And hopefully it might be in the shops as well.
I'll put a link to the Crowood Press website in the description field below so that you can know where to find it. Now, Phil, I've never written a book in my life. Your book looks like there's an awful lot of words in it. It's more a wordy history than a picture-led book. Would that be fair to say?
Yes. When they invited me to write this, they said it was going to be, well, there's the train, and we got a boat. They said they wanted 50 to 60,000 words, and I thought that's not very many to cover the history of the Birmingham Canal Navigations, and I managed to talk them up to 70,000. So it's about 70,000 words, and it contains about 140 illustrations, photos, maps, and so on.
And how long did it take you to write?
Well, I've had about 2 years on it, really, from the initial research, which was curtailed because of the pandemic and all the archives and libraries closing down. I did manage to have a couple of visits to the National Archives at Kew. Yeah, and I'm very lucky to have friends who have done a lot of research and were willing to share the fruits of their researches with me. Particularly Martin O'Keefe of the BCN Society and Ray Schill, the Birmingham historian.
No, that's absolutely fabulous. These things don't get written by themselves. They're something of a collective by all of us who are interested and passionate about the Birmingham Canal Navigations.
Indeed.
So if my videos have done anything to whet your appetite and you'd like to see something written in print where you can really take your time to linger over the details, Phil's book is the place to go. Now, we just come to Phil's favourite place on the BCN, but the book isn't all about the aqueduct here going over the main line. There's a lot more to the BCN than that. What did you actually cover in your book, Phil?
Yeah, it talks about the beginnings of the original Birmingham Canal and the expansion of the network, the improvements that were made, such as this improvement that were made to the system. There's a section on water supply, because water was one of the key elements for any canal. And of course the BCN, being basically on a plateau, had particular problems over water supply. There's a chapter about the people who worked on the BCN, people who work for the company itself. There's a section on trials and tribulations that deals with some of the many problems that the canal company faced. And then a section about the decline of the canal and its sort of restoration, bringing the canal into what's been described as a new canal age, the age of leisure.
Sounds fabulous.
Well, yeah, I hope so. That was the plan.